Good morning and welcome everyone to our Sunday celebration. Today is Sunday, July 26th, Unity of Reading. Our daily word is pray for others. I affirm truth for everyone I hold in prayer. I am honored by the trust people place in me when they ask for prayer support. As I pray for others, I see each one for whom I pray as divine and know the truth that each one is a living expression of God. My purpose in prayer is not to focus on the particulars of a situation, but to hold a higher view. As I center in prayer, I hold the vision that all challenging circumstances are moving toward a satisfying resolution in one way or another. I release all thoughts about the situation that prompted the prayer need and focus on the activity of God. As I pray, I see the life, the love, the wisdom, and the power of God at work, healing, strengthening, and establishing peace in all those for whom I pray. And Philippians 1, 3, and 4, I thank my God every time I remember you, constantly praying with joy in every one of my prayers for all of you. So last week I gave a message on an issue that is pandemic called the disease of onlyness. If you remember, this disease has the symptoms of ungratefulness and is perpetuated by the feelings of lack and not enough. Today I want to talk about another epidemic, or probably turning into a pandemic as well. Eric Butterworth, again in his book Spiritual Economics, writes, the most widespread disease of our time may well be itis. It is contracted by many of us early in life from our elders. Society has made a song of it that has neither rhyme nor reason, but it's heard everywhere. I can't because I'm poor. I can't because I'm sick. I can't because I have not the ability. I can't because there is no opportunity. I can't because I'm too old. I can't because I'm too young. I can't because of the government. I can't. Perhaps you might even be suffering from the disease of itis yourself. Do you remember where and when you may have contracted this crippling disease? Perhaps you have even infected those around you or even your own children. Incantitis is a crippling disease which is highly communicable and contagious. As my children were growing up, I told them to always question why when they're thinking they can't do something. Is it because someone told you that you can't, and they believe you can't do it? Or is it believe no one has ever done it? Or is it because you believe you can't do it? This did backfire on me, as many lessons that we teach our children do. At age 15, my son wanted his hair put in dreadlocks. I told him no, he can't do that. 1 month later, he asked again, and my reply was no, you can't. He did ask why, and I pulled the typical parent response, because I said so. The next month, like clockwork, he asked again. I said, I told you before, you can't. The answer is still the same. This is where the backfire came in. He asked me, why, Mom? Because you're afraid of what people might think of me? Or are you afraid of what people might think about you as a mother who allows her son to get dreadlocks? Whammo! I realized that it was my own fears affecting him. I restricted him by saying he can't do something because of my fears. Needless to say, he ended up with dreadlocks and was quite handsome with them until he decided to cut them off at about age 21. One of the main predisposing factors of this disease are excuses. There always seems to be a because involved in incantitis. I looked the word excuse up in the dictionary, and interestingly enough, the definition is to seek to remove the blame of, to serve as a justification, or to release from an obligation or duty. What does that tell us? It appears that we all are looking for reasons to justify why we are not living up to our God potential, why we cannot live our dream, and, of course, rarely do we admit it, that the reason is us. I remember in one of his talks, Tony Robbins quoted, next time you say, I can't because, be honest with yourself and say, I can't because I won't. Think about it. If we truly believe that all things are possible with God, there is no valid excuse for anything other than I won't. In his classic work, Wind, Sand, and Stars, Saint Experia tells the story of a pilot who was drowned in the rugged, snow-blocked region of the Andes. He trudged through the snow for days, only to find his way hopelessly blocked by a yawning crevice in the ice. He quickly concluded that he had 3 choices. 1, give up and die of exposure. 2, make an attempt to jump across the fissure, knowing full well that it was impossible to do so. Or 3, convince himself that he could jump across and make an attempt out of that conviction. When considered with this kind of logic, the choice was clear. So he backed away a few yards, closed his eyes in a moment of inner communication, and loudly shouting, I can, ran and jumped and barely reached safety on the other side. Trudging off down the mountain, he was finally found and saved. Now, faith was no magic bridge. There was no miracle of God picking him up and depositing him bodily on the other side. What the man did was accomplished with his own concentrated mind and special effort by his own muscles. But his believing attitude released a flow of energy from his inner God potential. There are many stories of seemingly superhuman feats accomplished under emotional stress. We are all too ready to call them miracles. How much more in keeping with the ideal of the divinity of man to know that it is simply a matter of opening up a way whence the imprisoned splendor may escape. And Jesus promised, greater works than these will you do, if you can believe. Henry Ford quoted, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Clearly, the disease of itis is rooted in the belief of failure, not the conviction of faith. I remember the Bob the Builder cartoon when my kids used to watch it, and now my grandchildren do. The theme song goes, "Can we build it? Yes, we can." I have been using that phrase with my grandchildren when we take on a big project. I say, "Can we do it?" They jump up and down and shout, "Yes, we can." Just as with anything else, one of the biggest hurdles is the biggest hurdle in learning is unlearning our errors in thinking. We have been indoctrinated with itis for so long, we think that it is an incurable disease. But as it has been said, incurable only means curable within. This brings to mind a story my son Robbie told me regarding the advice a work mentor once gave him. Robbie was having some trouble in completing a project and tried everything he was taught in the past. His mentor told him that he should not be like a fly. A fly will stay at one window, constantly trying to get out. When a door opens up inside of him, he will not go through the open door, but continue to try to get out the same window that he had been stuck at for hours. Many times it is not that we can't, it is because we continue to think and act the same way, over and over and over again, without opening our minds to new possibilities, to the leading of God. We end up putting God in a box. Eric Butterworth shared this story. One man was cleaning up his office at his desk on a Friday evening when he noticed an envelope that had not been opened. Apparently, it had been placed there while he was on the phone. He opened it and read it. To his shock and dismay, a notice of termination. His entire department was being eliminated, and his position along with it. After all the years he had given to this corporation, he found himself filled with resentment and a sense of injustice. Long past his planned time of departure, the man sat slumped in his chair, in utter despair and defeat. It has been said that the experience of retirement is the greatest shock the system can sustain. He thought through all the terrible things that could happen to him. He thought, I can't make it without this income. He feared he would have to sell his house and alter his whole way of life. He was really not prepared financially for retirement, thinking, I can't make ends meet on my retirement income. Yet he was at the age normally considered too old to get another job. I can't get another job at my age. The specter of lack, poverty, despair, and destitution hovered on the horizon. Even more severe was the shock of feeling that he was no longer needed. He was useless, through, washed up. He was in the midst of a severe case of itis. He noticed a spider on the desk and he unconsciously brushed it off. Suddenly, he was watching in amazement as this tiny creature automatically spun a strand to bear its own weight and swung gracefully to the floor. He began to wonder why, if this tiny creature could draw forth from within itself a reservoir of substance to meet his emergency, why could he not do the same thing? For many hours he sat deep in troubled thoughts. That turned gradually to creative meditation. Finally, the conviction came that the source of his supply, his security, was not in jobs or money or houses or lands, but in his own oneness with the allness of the infinite mind. His power was within, just as the substance of the spider. He might be taken from his payroll, but no one could cut him off from the intuitive flow of his own mind. This, he realized, was his real lifeline. This man was of artistic nature. Being forced to do office work had always kind of irked him. Figuratively, He had been earning his livelihood by the sweat of his brow. In his spare time, he had done a little writing, which occasionally found publication. He had secretly longed for the opportunity to write for a living. Now, he realized, was that opportunity. So a whole new frame of mind took possession of him. He blessed his retirement and thanked God for the new door that had been opened before him. He left the office with a buoyancy and a confidence that surprised even himself. It would be great to report that this man went on to be a great success as a writer. Real life isn't made up of great successes and great failures, but in an infinite number of levels of living in between. The true greatness depends more on inner overcomings than on outer achievements. This man did accomplish some great things within himself. He gained a new sense of self-mastery, a new sense of satisfaction and happiness, and he did enough good writing to earn a few checks each month, enough to more than double his half-pay retirement income. This man acquired the I can attitude and recovered from itis. So, let me ask you this. Would you rather be a fly, constantly hitting the window shouting, I can't get out, I can't get out, or a spider and drawing on the power within saying, yes, I can, yes, I can? The decision is up to you. It's up to each and every one of us. Are you going to summon our God power within or live with our I can'ts? Few people use more than a small part of the tremendous God power within. You can alter the pattern of harping on the same old I can't tune. Actually, there can be no progress in the realization of prosperity and living life abundantly until you do so. It calls for knowing, really knowing that you are a spiritual being, living in a limitless spiritual universe, and are one with the whole potential energy flow of the universe. In most cases, the problem is faulty self-evaluation. For instance, you may say, I'm an average sort of person. This leads to the subconscious acceptance of the wisdom of the world, which proclaims that the chances of success for the average person in this enterprise are about 1 in 7. But why be an average person? All the great achievements of history have been made by strong individuals who refused to consult statistics or to listen to those who could prove convincingly that what they wanted to do, and in fact ultimately did do, was completely impossible. Let go of I can't and begin to identify yourself as God's living enterprise. You are not just an average person. You are you, a unique individualization of the universal creative process. Affirm for yourself, I can because I am. I am remarkably made. I represent the Christ light within. I shine wherever I go. I have a future filled with hope. If God is for me, who can be against me? For I know, with God, all things are possible. Where is your faith? Is it in the fear of failure and I can't? Or is it in the promises of God, the universal law that all things are possible to him who believes? You may survey your situation today as concerns of financial needs, job situation, obsessed with problems of the economy, unemployment, current social restrictions, or threats of crippling depression. You may be totally discouraged, or you may carry on half-heartedly in the thought, well, what are we going to do? This is just the way things are. But there is much, much more than you can do. Much more that you can do. You need not live marginally. You can achieve prosperity if you can believe in the allness of God's substance, ever-present and all-sufficient, abundantly able to meet any and every need of your life. Your potential to harness the flow of the universe is the very law of your being. Even as the flick of a switch turns on the light by reason of the law of electricity, so your faith releases your success power by reasons of the law of spirit within you. No miracles are required. It is the way you have been created. You are a rich, creative, spiritual being. You can never be less than this. You may frustrate your potential. You may identify with that which is less than what you can be. But within you now and always is the unborn possibility of a limitless experience of inner stability and outer treasure. And yours is the privilege of giving birth to it. And you will, if you believe. I'll share a short poem called Thinking. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost certain you won't. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or late the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. So often the only thing stopping us from achieving our heartfelt, God-given desire is ourselves. We tell ourselves that we can't do something or that we are not good at something simply because we're not used to doing it or because no one ever tried it. Our can't then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Itis is a disease of our own thinking. It is a stop sign on the road of being our best selves. Remember, Jesus even said, with man it may be impossible, but with God all things are possible. Know that the can'ts are coming from our own little human minds, not the superconscious mind of God. They're derived from our own beliefs about ourselves, and we know our beliefs can be changed. If we replace negative beliefs with the truth about ourselves, really know our spiritual nature, our obstacles will disappear and we can step into possibility. Often when we are facing a challenge, we evaluate our abilities and size up the problem to see if we match the task at hand. The funny thing about our human minds is we usually start with noticing what we are not equipped to do. We go through our catalog of weaknesses before looking at our strengths. Often when we do this, we automatically set ourselves up to opt out, not even try. We think, I can't, instead of I can. We go around listing all the things we are incapable of, all the reasons and excuses why we can't. And guess what? You get to play it safe and small. What would your life look like if you went around giving yourself reasons for why you can instead of reasons why you can't? You see, we give ourselves reasons for everything, but consider this, that reasons are all made up. Sometimes there are valid circumstances, but often we come up with an excuse for anything, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? So if you're going to make up a reason, make one that will empower you instead of disempower you. Instead of saying, I can't go to Paris in June because I don't have the money, you could say, I can go to Paris in June because I know the universe is conspiring for my good. I am following my guidance, which will show me the way I can work this out. Instead of looking at all the reasons you can't do something, start with painting a picture of what you can. Just create. Have fun. This is where you may surprise yourself to know that the impossible truly is possible. Believe in yourself, not your little human self, but that enormous God power within. Don't give yourself to any other option. If other people can do it, so can you. The truth is, we actually can control the thoughts and beliefs which stop us. They're actually in operation because we let them control us. Show your faith is stronger than your fears. We are here to grow spiritually, to experience life in its fullness and beauty. Instead of telling yourself, I can't, tell yourself, I can. Not only will having a positive attitude help you change your overall outlook, but the more optimistic and enthusiastic you are about doing anything, the more you'll want to say, I can. As we affirm with conviction and faith, yes, I can, the universe will gladly supply the reasons you can and the opportunities to do it. The next time you want to follow your desires, think about what you will accomplish and not what you won't accomplish. Try it, and I can almost guarantee that you will see things change right before your very eyes. God will never, ever let you down. All things are possible to him who believes. So take a challenge in your life right now. Look at something you are stuck in or a desire for which you feel blocked, something that you're saying, I can't, and turn your can't into I can through the power of the Christ within, who will certainly give you the strength. And so it is. I would like to take some of these thoughts into meditation at this time. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seat. Wherever you're sitting or lying, find yourself a comfortable position. Take a few deep breaths, in and out, being aware of your breathing, noticing With each exhale, your body and your mind relaxes even fuller. When you're ready, you can close your eyes. Take a few slow and deep breaths, allowing your entire body to calm down, to relax, to become full of ease and completely comfortable. At any time during this meditation, if you need to adjust your position or change your position, feel free to help yourself become more comfortable. When your body is at ease, then your mind can much easily be at ease as well. Our intention for this meditation today is manifesting your best life, turning your I can'ts into I can, to truly, truly visualize the possibilities that await you, and to be able to see the doors that are opening right in front of your eyes. So just enjoy for a moment how everything right now is so peaceful. You are still, you are quiet. Listen to the birds and the environment. But know that even as you're listening to those, you can be quiet within. All the tasks, the goals, and the projects you can pick up after the meditation. But right now, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, just being right here, right now, in this moment. Imagine that you are standing in a meadow on a hillside. The gentle slopes of the hills surround you, and above you is a beautiful, crisp blue sky. It is a lovely sunny day, and you are going to walk through this meadow. You notice the details on the pathway, pebbles and stones, grass and moss, all under your feet as you walk. You observe the trees along your path and notice what the trees, branches, leaves, and how they look. You feel very observant. Every aspect of this meadow seems alive to you. And it feels good to be walking along this path. You feel content and joyful on this path. As you walk along this meandering path, you notice that there's a small bridge coming up ahead of you. You walk towards that bridge. Once you arrive at the bridge, you see trickling water below. A small stream is making a gurgling sound. The water is flowing so easily. The water is refreshing looking, crisp, clear, cool. You just stand there and watch the water as it flows below. You know that this stream flows into a pond, so you go off the path and start walking beside the stream, going downwards, going downhill. And alongside the stream, there's a tiny dirt patch on which you walk, parallel to the stream. You watch how the water twists and turns around the rocks. Beautiful, crisp, fresh water, constantly flowing. Soon you notice where the stream meets the pond. You speed up your steps and find a spot to sit, right at the pond. The pond is still. The water is completely still, reflecting the sky and the trees around. This, of course, is a magical pond, a pond that can show you what you can visualize. So now you look at the pond, at the surface of the water, crystal clear, reflecting the sky, and you visualize what your dream life looks like. What would your life look like if you made the commitment to change all your I can'ts to I can? Take a deep breath and start reviewing all those aspects of your life. On the surface of the pond, you can see yourself visually. You see your healthy body, exuberant health, perfect weight, fitness. Know that this can be yours as you change I can'ts into I can. I can have the body I want. I can have the health I want. I can have the weight I would like. Visualize your calm mind. On the pond surface, you can see now how you are meditating, calming your mind, feeding it good thoughts, good ideas, and helping to build its calm and strong state. Affirm, I can. I can have a calm mind. I can meditate. I can feel the peace of God within. See yourself happy, with happy, healthy relationships, having deep, joyful moments with friends, family, colleagues, and loved ones. In the mirror that is the pond surface, you see yourself connecting with all beings, with animals in your life, taking care of them, protecting them, admiring their beauty, and admiring their wild nature. Affirm to yourself, I can have wonderful, loving relationships. I know I can enjoy deep, joyful moments with my friends. You also see the various aspects of your career, your business, beautifully blossoming. You see yourself committed, persevering constantly, making good, meaningful effort. Your work life is in balance the way you like it. You are creating in order to help people. Affirm to yourself, I can be successful in this venture. I can make a difference. I know if God is for me, who can be against me, and not even myself. I can turn my financial situation around. I can feel abundance. I can enjoy a steady, wonderful income. I can give wonderful, wonderful service to other people. Now you see your finances in good health, well taken care of, giving you the ability to take care of yourself, your loved ones, and all the important, meaningful causes that you want to support. Affirm, I can feel safe and secure in this moment in my financial needs. See yourself in a beautiful, cozy home, in a home filled with love, with calm and peace. And affirm, I can have the shelter that I desire, for as I desire, God is opening the door to achieve. Visualize all these different aspects of life and see it manifesting. Knowing that as God told us, with God all things are possible. You see it coming into reality. This is your dream life, but know that as you can visualize it, you can manifest it into reality. For whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Place your faith in these things that you want and your ability for the universe to show you the way. Give gratitude for all this already manifest. Give gratitude for the faith of achieving, for the faith in God, your inner power, your inner strength. Give gratitude to the promises of God. Give gratitude for this moment of creating. And now the surface of the pond changes and slowly reflects the sky and the trees again. You take a deep breath in and you make your way back up the path going along the stream, coming up to the bridge, walking across it back into the meadow. You stand there on the meadow, look all around you, and take one glance at the sky, the big, beautiful blue sky. Take a few deep breaths. Come back into your body, feel your body moving. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back in this room. But know that you can visit this pond to reconnect to your dream life anytime you want. Know that with man, it may be impossible, but with God, all these things are possible. And so it is. Amen.